Max.
I'm Gideon, and this is Culinary Headline.
Today we'll be making
brownies.
So the first step is to preheat our oven to 350 degrees. Better.
So now we're gonna melt 3/4 of a cup of butter. You can just use a microwave for this. And since I'm better than Max, I can just press start on the first try.
Alright, so now we're going to add our melted butter to a medium mixing bowl, along with approximately 1 1/3 cups of regular white sugar. Now, this is just so that the brownies actually taste good instead of mild. The next step is to whisk together our butter and sugar. This is just because we want to incorporate a lot of air into this mixture, which will result in fluffier brownies down the line.
So now that it looks like applesauce, we're going to add 2 eggs to this mixture.
Alright, so in a bowl here we have 6 ounces of milk chocolate chips, but feel free to use whatever kind of chocolate you want. Anyway, now we're just going to melt it by putting it into the microwave, and what we're going to do here is put it in for 30-second intervals, and you just put it in for 30 seconds, you take it out, and then you stir it just to break it up a little, and then you repeat this process until the chocolate is completely melted.
So once the chocolate has been melted, we're going to mix it to break it up. It's not you, it's me, but I think we need to break up.
So now it's time to turn our applesauce resembling mixture into brownie batter by adding the chocolate. Alright, so now we're going to add 1/2 of 1 cup of all-purpose flour. However, if your mixture isn't already as thick as ours, then you probably should be adding 2/3 of a cup of flour.
Next, we're going to be adding 1/4 of a cup of cocoa powder.
Alright, so this is arguably the most important step of this entire recipe. When you add in the dry ingredients, you do not want to whisk it. You want to fold it. This is so that none of the air we incorporated into the mixture earlier is depleted, because we want really light and fluffy brownies.
So once the mix has been folded, we're going to add additional chocolate chips, because why not?
Alright, so now it's time to prepare our baking dish. Now you can really use any type of dish you want, depending on the thickness of your preferred brownie. So what we're going to do either way is just butter it using a stick of, well, butter, and just do that. Just make sure that it's everywhere. This is just so that the brownies do not stick, but we're actually going to be preparing our baking dish more so that the brownies have an easy release. Alright, so now we're going to take our final brownie batter and pour it into our buttered baking dish. Like so.
Finally, you're ready to put the brownies into the oven. Next, we're going to be cooking the brownies for about 35 to 40 minutes.
Alright, so about halfway through the baking process, we're going to want to take it out. And I know this is going to sound really weird. I learned this trick from Tasty. I'm sure you've heard of it. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to actually slam this down lightly on a surface. Now what this is going to do is it's going to break the top, and it's going to result in a much more evenly cooked brownie. We're also going to add on some sea salt on top, just to add a nice salty bite. And then we're going to return this back to the oven and cook it for the remainder of its time.
So now that the brownies are finished and out of the oven, we're going to karate chop it in such a way that will cut all of the brownies. Hi-ya! Hi-ya! Alright, and now that they're cut,
now just be ready to enjoy. Alright, so that's it. You can top it with some whipped cream if you want. They aren't very attractive, but neither are we, so yeah.